Let's talk about the elephant in the room and what people aren't forgetting. They aren't forgetting what happened down there with the Elephants of Alabama in the Roll Tide world. What happened when Saban was the coach. And now Kalen DeBoer is being judged directly against peak Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Tough.
What are we doing?
Yeah, doesn't work out well.
We're loafing. 21. Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Dan doesn't know shit. Alabama fans just down there in it. It's like, well, if you move on from Kalen DeBoer, which people are already talking about, which is college football, especially one of these big programs, if you don't win every single game, why are you here? You're getting overpaid. These players, you think you're getting overpaid? You're getting overpaid.
Yep.
You need to get the hell out of here. We need to win. Nick Saban was able to do it. That was just a couple years ago. How come you're not able to do it? What's going on with us? Wait, you can go all the way back to Bear Bryant when he was playing 152 players each game.
That's right.
Yeah. When we were 12 deep at the running back position, which I learned there was some scholarship situations going on there. I guess Bear Bryant was really good at giving scholarships to every person that he thought could play football. And then there were some scholarship limits, I guess, that came into play. But whatever the case, the Alabama fans, we're expecting to be in the conversation. Hey, we are in the conversation all the time. The conversation that we're in is championships. We're not in the conversation of loafing and
no, we're not.
Dancing and playing like ass and getting beaten in the trenches. That is not what Alabama football is. We, as Alabama fans, have been able to go into any restaurant in any time, in the SEC, in any college football place, and say, we are the Kings. How you doing? Alabama's here. You're welcome. Roll Tide. And we were able to get any seat we wanted. We were able to talk shit to any team we wanted. Kirby Smart even got a little popped off. There's Georgia fans. They start, it's like, well, we're Alabama. That's not, now, we can't do that anymore. You know why? Because we got 21 lows. Says Dan Orlovsky against Florida State. So that is a fascinating thing happening down there in Alabama. And a lot of people have been pointing out that Kalen DeBoer could have been a king at the University of Washington.
Could have.
He had success up there. We put you right up there next to that mountain. What's the mountain over there?
Rainier. Mount Rainier.
Beautiful mountain.
Yeah, right off Puget Sound.
I'm telling you, you walk.
So nice.
You're downtown. You're walking. There's buildings here. It's not bad here. A little mist, early morning. And then you turn right as soon as that building ends, and you look. There's just the most beautiful mountain of all time, just sitting there,
cool.
like it's a postcard. Got the snow right on top of it. It's like they said they were going to put Kalen DeBoer's face on that mountain if he was able to turn around the University of Washington and keep it going, and he certainly did there for a while.
Oh yeah,
that Penix year. Remember the Roman Empire? How often do you think about Rome and doing that? The whole everything they had going on. It was up, playing hard, good recruiting process.
Yeah.
We were all the way out there celebrating it. And then he says, I need to get to Alabama and go change this entire thing. People are like, you could have been a king. But he wanted to chase what? Significance? Forever? Is that one half of the hammer?
Dahn.
Cowboys AP tone. Your thoughts? Like, what do you think it is? Because this kind of thing happened with Rich Rodriguez at West Virginia as well.
True.
Now, granted, at that time, Rich Rod was getting into a lot of bickering, I believe, about like what our football team had earned whenever it comes to a little bit of assistance, paying coaches, other things happening. Because if you compare what we have now versus what we had then, I mean, we had some really low quality shit, and then everything got built up through our football team. Allegedly, Coach Rod was looking for a little bit more assistance from the program. Program didn't want to give him any, so there was a little bit of a bickering there. And then he felt like obligated he had to leave because he was never going to get really what was needed like everybody else was getting. But him going to Michigan, I assume he would look back and say, like, could have been king. Now he's getting a chance to kind of right that ship, which I'm very pumped for him to get to do that. Yeah. But I do wonder how much Kalen DeBoer thinks about that in that brand new office of his over there.
Yeah, I agree because I mean he was a guy who was leveling up. I mean he started at the lowest levels and won there and came through and was all the way up to Washington. I think there's a handful of schools, and I'm sure Rich Rod would say this still. There's a handful of schools that you don't say no to. Michigan being one of them, Alabama being one of them. Those blue blood, blue collar schools that you just like. Washington is a great football school. They're in the Big Ten. They can probably pay their coaches almost as much as Alabama. I'm not sure if it as much as Alabama, but they're up there. But there's some schools that you do not say no to, and Alabama's one of them.
So $70 million is allegedly what the buyout is for Kalen DeBoer.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but
I believe in Kalen.
I do too.
I believe in
he's
Coach.
Always won. He's always won. That did not look like a Kalen DeBoer
did not.
either.
Recruiting class, though, you mentioned with Bama.
Most 5 stars.
That's coming in eventually. That might help.
They got to run, though. They got to try.
If you're Bama, you got to look up at New England and see what happened up there. It's the only real comparison you can do with like a legendary coach leaving. And I'm not saying get rid of DeBoer because I still believe in him. I almost bet Ty Simpson to win the Heisman after that first drive, and that's for shoot, brother. But, the Patriots, their brand of football last year, completely changed, and it wasn't what it was when Belichick was there. Not even like the win-loss record, just brand on the field like you're talking about when it comes to loafs. And I'm not saying get rid of Kalen now, but if that doesn't flip around quick, like you are better off going with somebody that can –
maybe we'll see. We don't know what Coach Vrabel has done with the New England Patriots. We have no idea. We assume it's going to be good. We know it wasn't great there for a 1-year coaching stint to get fired. I don't think anybody
understands though. Like at least Vrabel understands what the product of a New England team is that people like.
Yeah, what the fans expect.
Yes.
Yeah, all those things. I mean, it happened with Pittsburgh a little bit. So Pittsburgh, obviously, Steelers running defense. Then they got like five wide with like Todd Haley, Bruce Arians, and everything like that.
Beast.
And they had success, and it was great. Everybody was happy when they had success. When you stop having just the most amount of success, though, they immediately go, this ain't Pittsburgh Steelers football.
Sure.
Like, this ain't what it is. I think that's why a couple coaches got ran out of town. I think that's why Todd ended up getting run out of town. I think Bruce Arians in a similar fashion. I think that type of offense doesn't fit the city, so I understand what you're saying. And Alabama might be the same way. Kalen DeBoer needs to win games immediately, though. He knows that.
Yeah, that was what, I mean, he knew going in that if it wasn't unbelievable from the start, like this would be the reception. Like people, no matter what, were going to react like this if they weren't, going to the playoff or going to the national championship or whatever the case may be. But he also, it's not like he forgot how to coach. I'm sure he is still supremely confident in himself. So yeah, now it's just, hey, we got to get going. We can't lay an egg next week. Can't lay an egg in the SEC. We know the talent we have, and let's stay to the course here and not completely fall apart after week 1.
I think the thing with DeBoer is too that is tough is Saban lost four times to as a double-digit favorite his entire time there, 20 years or whatever it is, and DeBoer's done it 4 times now in his whatever.
That's what every Alabama fan's saying.
Yeah, they know that's it. Yeah,
you can't lose the ones you're supposed to win there.
That's why I came there.
That is, I guess that is what he signed up for.
Yeah.
Did he though? Because that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he left Washington. You had Washington National Championship. You come to Alabama because just like the same conversation we had with Bill after week 1. You can be a great coach. Your guys can be prepared. You can have all these different things. But if you're not getting the best players in the country year in and year out, you don't have a chance to be in the national championship conversation year in and year out. And now with him being down there, we talked about leading the nation in 5-star recruits next year. He retained a bunch of guys on that roster. So you have the pieces, and now it's on you as a coach. B.A. talked about it yesterday. Like, coaches lose more games than they actually win. So now the effort, the energy, the intensity, the attention to details, those are the things that Kalen DeBoer, which he's always done, has to be great at, but now at the highest level. So, like I said, I got faith in him to turn around. Hopefully it was just a one-off. We'll see.
We like Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
We do. That's why watching that game the other night was like, he's gonna get crushed.
He's very nice to us.
Yeah, he's been very nice to us. And also,
no, we can't. If we start doing that. He's a nice guy. That nice guy shit.
He is, though.
I was just saying us in general.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And he wins.
He does win.
Yeah,
He wins.
I personally think, as we're talking about it, should have thought in his head, like, hey, Bear Bryant in Washington would be cool. But, yeah, I guess going to Alabama. Because you mentioned it, you got to go to Bama to be in the conversation for a national championship. Like, now you don't. Because there's 12 teams, and it might suck. Like, at the end of the year, you might say, like, well, Notre Dame didn't play anyone. Well, Washington or one of these teams, Pac-12, they didn't play anyone. But they're in the conversation because they made it. So, like, is it worth the...
Well, when you're starting with 12 and you're counting down to 1.
Exactly.
If you get into dance, that's really all that matters.
More teams and a lot more fun.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be, but that first round was not a lot done by the bad teams.
That's a good point.
That was pretty big.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it, is that more schools get a shot to shine.
Yeah, and...
Boom.
When you put it that way, you can't help but this is the right way to crown a CFP national champion. But when you're watching some of those games, it's like it feels like we're just kind of more blowouts.
Yeah, this game shite.
And boy, we got a lot of off time for the higher seeds. Did they get rusty? They just had a month off.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you did the best out of everybody.
Well, and that's the quarterfinals, New Year's 6.
Yeah.
That kind of
rotating bases.
Rotating
bases.
should help.
So cold.
That was a great song.
It was.